It's time to feel the rage. Welcome to Film Rage, where we talk movies. Abraham Lincoln once said, "Give me 6 hours to chop down a tree, and I will spend the first 4 hours sharpening the axe." Lincoln was a wise man. But back to the matter at hand. Directors and actors beware, as you cannot hide from the rage. My name is Bryce, and I'm part of the Film Rage crew, which also includes Jim. Hey there, Jim.
Yeah.
So, with the introductions out of the way, let's rage on.
Well, as usual, we're doing our time for a quick rage out to thank James, currently our only member subscriber. And yes, you too can be a member of the Film Rage community by joining at buymeacoffee.com/FilmRageYYC. All members get special episodes and content only from members. Along with all members that sign up will get a special limited edition Film Rage merch item. If you cannot commit to a membership, you can still buy us a movie rental and dare us to see a terrible film. Lastly, make sure to check out our merch site because it is all on sale at TeePublic right now. Go to our website and click on merch, then click on TeePublic or Redbubble, which is also on sale, but not as much on sale. They're both unique, just like you, our listeners, are also unique. Can we dance?
We can, but I think you should maintain that voice for the entirety of this episode.
I will try. I've already lost.
Yeah, your voice is gonna give out about 2 minutes if you keep on doing that. All right. On that note.
Streaming. And what?
We are streaming, Jim. All right. So, I started my streaming week by watching a very long movie. I don't know where you watched this one, but
I was also very close to the beginning.
yes. So we are going
Snyderverse.
Yes, we're going to start with Zack Snyder's Justice League. We'll see if it's better than the Joss Whedon thing that they credited Zack Snyder with, but really didn't have much to do with it by the time the finished product was put out. So, Zack Snyder's Justice League. Well, here it is. After 4 years, we get the film that the internet was clamoring for. Zack Snyder's Justice League. It is near impossible to avoid comparing it to the 2017 Justice League that ended up being taken over by the studio and Joss Whedon. This after Snyder had to leave the production for personal reasons, which most of us know why. The result of the original film was an uneven, poorly developed story injected with forced humor. Yet I still kind of liked it. Now we get Snyder's vision, with no interference from studio executives and no extra writers brought in. And apparently, no one editing the film as it clocks in at over 4 hours long. Overindulgent at times, way too much CGI for my liking, yet there is a brilliance within this. Within this film, there are about a dozen or so short films that could stand on their own. If this was like a TV series, you'd have like a bunch of episodes. I could almost see this as being a limited TV series.
Like a British miniseries.
Yes, pretty much. Within this film, there are about, I should say, and I almost said the same thing again. And so with these little short films that we got, we had our introduction to Barry Allen, a.k.a. The Flash, as he's applying for a job as a dog walker. And this scene is about as charming as a scene as you'll see all year. Really good stuff. The other nice thing about the Zack cut is we actually get A more fully realized vision of the other members of the Justice League as well. Aquaman is given the development that was missing from the original, and I legitimately could not care less about Cyborg in the 2017 version, but here in the Zack cut, we get a fully realized character development through a backstory that is given the amount of time needed for us to understand Victor Stone, the man who would become Cyborg. The original was all about Wonder Woman and Batman, but in the Zack cut, the Justice League is about the whole team, as they are all equally important to the story. If anything, Batman and Wonder Woman take the back seat to these newly introduced characters, which was welcome as they were all interesting characters in their own right. The nice thing about this version is everything made way more sense than the 2017 version. As I mentioned before, I could have used a little less CGI, but that is a minor gripe. The scenes in this movie that drag on a little are more than made up for by the brilliant scenes that are peppered throughout the film. I would also be remiss without mentioning the effective use of music in this film. You will notice in many of the action sequences, you will actually get a song playing over the action instead of the loud explosions and squealing tires and roaring engines. It made these scenes unique and memorable as it was not an all-out assault on my senses. I really enjoyed this approach and wish more filmmakers would do the same. These stunning visuals were made more impactful without the distracting noise that would generally accompany them. And then we got the ending with some end credit type scenes. Within a few minutes, Zack has seemed to breathe some life into this franchise continuing. Maybe. The appearance of the Joker and the appearance of the Joker and Batman teaming up to battle a familiar foe in an alternate universe, and the introduction of another character at the very end seem to give hope to those of you that want this Zack vision of the DC universe continuing. And then playing over the end credits, we get a breathtaking remake of Leonard Cohen's Hallelujah as sung by Alison Krauss. This was such a fitting conclusion to this 4-hour epic. Do yourself a favor, and if you feel like watching Justice League, do not even think about watching the original, as it absolutely pales in comparison to the Zack cut of the film. Still, even though there is absolute brilliance in some of the sequences, there was still a little too much overindulgence for me to completely love this. I genuinely loved parts of it. And I mean really loved parts of it. But the sum of its parts was a very high meh. That is what I thought after watching it the first time on a tiny little 43-inch screen after a long day at work, which made for a very tired Bryce. Then yesterday morning...
You had 4 hours to kill, apparently.
Then yesterday morning at about 6 a.m., as I was preparing notes for the podcast, I decided to put it on my 77-inch TV in the background as I worked. At about the 1 hour mark, I found myself dropping what I was doing so I could focus on the film. I found myself really enjoying what I was watching, and even the CGI was not as annoying to me as it was the few days before. This was a very good movie with fully fleshed out characters, with each one getting the focused backstory they deserve. As I mentioned before, the music over the action sequences takes this film to an absolute other level. It really raises the bar. The music for every scene was near perfect. This has been a thing for Zack. Throughout his movie, music's been really important to him. You go back to even Sucker Punch. It was all about the music. After watching this again, I must take back my original rating of meh and replace it with the coveted Mondo. I really hope we get more of Zack's vision for the DC universe in the future. Wow, I talked a lot.
Yeah, I was going to say, your review is almost as long as the Snyder Cut.
I know. I thought I had to...
try and keep up to...
It's probably not my longest review ever, but it's close.
No, I can remember that one. That was... That's the one I couldn't stop laughing at. Okay, but that was very well articulated.
Yes.
Once you got it rolling.
Yeah.
Okay, so Snyder Cut, Justice Leaguers are all about drone shots, Wonder Woman entrance, or Wonder entrance, as I like to call it, Gal Gadot, motherfucking Wonder Woman, more explosions, Amazon in the place of... I'm sorry. I'm trying to put this out in a way that won't be offensive to Bryce, but at the same time offending Bryce. But I really feel that Amazon is the place where Bryce belongs to live if he was a woman, because they have no technology and they live basically back in the Middle Ages.
Yeah, it's sweet. I could totally.
As I was
there.
watching it, I was going like, I could see Bryce living with all these women.
Yeah.
Right?
Sure.
Totally. More battle scenes, more of everything, including more CGI, true Snyder form, a total music video footage all the time, more backstory, very Watchmen style influenced. You know, as I'm watching this, I'm going like, these characters are nice and dark, just like Watchmen, and I loved Watchmen. So getting to see as the darkness that this film just envelops on the screen, I loved it. Favorite part was the end when Superman arrives, and it's all like Wonder Woman and Aquaman got to get their licks in, even though he really didn't even need them to be there. I just was like, okay, so you guys have been just like warming this guy up until Superman shows up.
Just making sure he doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah, it's kind of like, okay, so, you know, we just got to hold this guy at bay till finally Superman arrives, right? It's kind of makes you think, okay.
Yeah, that Superman just pummels him. He pins him down and just boom, 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 just throwing haymakers.
It was kind of like the Hulk meets Loki is kind of what I was feeling as I was watching it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, for those of you who listen to our podcast, I am a huge DC fan over Marvel any day. I loved this 4-hour movie epic. I got a lot more wetter in multiple places in my nether regions than I did watching the first time around. I liked the first one because I still love the characters.
Yeah.
But this was exactly what I was hoping it was going to be. It was Snyder at his finest. It's 10 times better than the original, and this film was Snyder Mondo.
It was. It definitely was.
Woo! Thank God we got that out of the way. You know, as I'm looking around the Twitterverse, I'm noticing that pretty much every movie podcast is reviewing this movie this week. So we're not going to be the only ones in there.
What? We're not going to stand out?
Yeah, as the only ones.
We're gonna stand out because we're awesome.
Yeah, it's true. Plus, I have a feeling that none of the other ones are going to be reviewing the ones that we're going to be watching and talking about next.
No.
So the next movie we got to see was on Shudder.
Dum dum.
Thank you. And it is called Koko-di, Koko-da.
Yeah.
And we were very, I should say we were blessed that we could have seen this, but unfortunately we did not see this because it played at Calgary International Film Fest last year, but we didn't get to see it. We saw everything else but that, I guess.
I think it actually played there 2 years ago.
Oh, was it 2 years ago?
Yeah.
Is it that long ago?
Yeah.
Holy crap. Okay, well, I didn't get to see. Did you see it then?
No, didn't get to see it then, and then it did the festival circuit, and then it did get a small release, but its first mainstream release was like really late last year, where it got released in some theaters. So it's still fairly new, even though it's, got its start on the festival circuit.
It's brand
a couple
new
years ago.
to video on demand. In this case, it's on Shudder. As a couple goes on a trip to find their way back to each other, a sideshow artist and his shady entourage emerge from the woods, terrorizing them, luring them deeper into maelstrom of psychological terror and humiliating slapstick. Writer and director Johannes Nyholm, and stars Leif Edlund, Peter Belly, and Halle Anderson. The animation was amazing.
Yes.
The rawness of the film style adds so much to the feel and atmosphere of this film. Sprinkled with the childlike animation makes it that much creepier and unnerving. I cannot stop singing the song. It's still stuck in my head. And you know what I'm like? I tried to buy the soundtrack to this. I cannot find it anywhere. So anybody who's listening to this, if you have access to getting the soundtrack for Koko-di, Koko-da, please buy this for my Christmas present, birthday present, or just because you love me. I can't wait to get this on the soundtrack. The interaction between the mom and dad in this is so well done. Their anger, frustration, and with each other, although understandable, is painful to watch as this couple has been through so much already. These actors were brilliant. Yiva Gallant and Leif Edlund were absolutely fantastic. Was this a Happy Death Day, Groundhog-esque film? Maybe, but personally, I felt it was more like of a surviving grief, one step at a time. And it just needs to be mentioned. Koko-di, Koko-di, Koko-da. This gets a Swedish fucked up, trippy motherfucking mondo, and we got some things to unpack, but I'll let you swing your Swedish dicks around.
All right. Well, we got another time loop movie, which, I always seem to like for some reason. The terror increases.
If they're done well.
Not many of them aren't, though. Like, I don't know. Most of them are pretty good.
I guess.
They are. I don't know what it is. The terror increases. Okay, well, there's that. The terror increases every time they find themselves back in the same situation. The shadow puppet animation added to the overall creepiness of the film. There is a sense of dread that starts in the first few minutes and does not let up for the duration of the movie. There are no happy endings here. My one problem is the fact that we literally have no development of the lead characters, Tobias and Aylin. They are defined by one thing and one thing only, and that is the loss of their child. That was not enough for me to really invest in the torment these characters were going through. Still, this was a unique romp with bizarre characters doing bizarre things, which definitely kept me interested. The shadow puppet sequences were excellent, but the lack of character development ultimately hurt the overall impression of the film for me. It made this film meh. It was a one-note thing, man.
Yeah, so I'm usually the one that gets so bent out of shape about character. And it's funny because it didn't, for me, I can understand why it maybe bothered you. For me, it didn't, because I just kept finding their characters were slightly evolving every time they had a different wake up to it. So it was like,
he was pretty much a weasel the whole way through.
He was kind of a weasel. Yeah, he was, but he changed, right? Like, it's like every time the guy came out, it was kind of like he was a little bit more. Well, he was a little more proactive every time. Yeah. Yes, and less wienery. It's kind of like the way I looked at it. This is the way I took it and I interpreted it. Was them coming back together. And it was them trying to find the relationship of having this great loss. And I personally felt they did that really well. The director did it well because they slowly had him be so much of a dick to less dickness through the movie as it progressed until the very end. He wasn't a dick. But then, I don't want to spoil the ending, but then the ending happens, right? So for me, I 100% see, like, normally I would be very more upset about the character, but because I did like the way that his character progressed the most, I think, out of everybody, I appreciated it a little bit more. But a couple of things that I want to unpack is, so what's the deal on the guy wanting to shoot his penis every time?
I have no answer for that.
I don't know either, but it was kind of like, okay, I'm kind of infatuated with penises too, but that's kind of a little awkward. It's kind of like, oh, shoot him in the dick here. Oh, we got to shoot him in the dick there. And then the one scene where he walks up and he goes, beep.
he He booped his penis.
he booped his penis is what he did.
Gave him a boop.
And do we even know what their kid died of?
Not really. But I guess we could assume that. I don't know. But
because they went into the hospital for the mom, and then the kid dies. So it was like,
well, I think it was the same thing. I don't know.
Maybe she had it too.
Yeah.
It was a bit of a surprise to me. I was kind of like, what? Okay, where? What? You're dying?
Yeah.
What's happening? And we're not giving much away. It's by saying that the kid dies because he died like really soon in the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
So, oh well, it was. I love weird and quirky stuff, and this was all about weird and quirky for me.
As I was about halfway in, I was thinking this could be Mondo, but as I say, where you saw, I don't know, growth
Evolution.
I didn't really see it as much. So.
Yeah, well, it's okay. You still liked it, and we got to sing Koko-di, Koko-da, so all through it.
Life is good.
Which was often. Life is good.
All right. Well, you know what? I'm going to switch up the music because it's a cuff event here that we're doing next.
Cuff event.
Ooh. And I just haven't heard the cuff music in a while, so I like when. Yeah, this is good. Here.
Sweet.
Nice. I had to wait for that. That's good stuff. All right. So, a special off-the-cuff event happened, and it's actually getting an extended day. I don't know if you knew that.
What?
So, yeah, it was supposed to end tomorrow, which is the 25th. I think it's going right till the 26th now because they... They had a problem on the Monday there where I was trying to get it, and they said, sorry.
Sorry.
It ended on Sunday, and I was like, what? No, it's not supposed to end till Thursday. And so things happened, and wheels were put in motion, and it went back up.
Magic. And there's magic.
And then they decided to add a day because they kind of messed up. So you've actually got until Friday night, I believe, to get this.
Yeah, so I don't know if it's geo-blocked. So for our American listeners,
it is.
Which happen to be a lot greater than our Alberta listeners these days, just to thank our U.S. listeners because they're almost doubling our Canadian listeners now. So whoop, whoop.
Yes, it is geo-blocked. However, there are lots of places in Yankee Land that are showing it like this week as well. So
okay. Yeah. So people,
it's part of Eventive, so they're streaming it for a bunch of different theaters throughout Yankee Land as well. So the United States
we say, look it up.
All right, so the name of this special off-the-cuff event, the name of the film is Honeydew from 2020. A young couple seeks help from a nearby household after they are forced to leave their campsite and their car breaks down. From there, the film starts escalating through different levels of strange. The movie is completely hijacked by the performance of Barbara Kingsley as Karen. The old lady who lives in the house with what seems to be her son, or is he? Karen is completely mesmerizing every time she is on screen. This whole film, there's an atmosphere and mood to this that is uneasy from early on and doesn't let up. It has the feel of a 70s cult horror film with its grittiness. I hope that more is to come from director Devru Milburn, as this was a tremendous debut. He's done a lot of shorts and stuff, but he's never done like a feature. And this was a fantastic debut. It's full of creepiness and dark humor. And I already mentioned it, but that standout performance from Barbara Kingsley, her alone makes this film Mondo. But there is a lot going on here that I loved this movie. It was Mondo.
Yeah. Oh, man. So right from shot one, in conjunction with the dialogue, I was hooked. Every shot so clean and tight. I was in love with this stylized film. The music and sound was so unique and edited into the atmosphere of this film so well, it just fit perfect. The quirkiness mixed with the quick edits and music, score, sound effects were all perfection, right down to the crickets and the cheek clicking, which was one of the creepy sounds that he brought in on random basis. And I was just like, what the fuck is that sound? And it's like, that's the... I'm like, oh, that's creepy. I freaking love split screen when it's done well. And this was done super well.
Yeah.
Barbara Kingsley.
Oh my God.
AKA Karen, AKA motherfucking rock star in this movie. Where the hell has she been hiding my entire life?
She is so awesome.
I want to crawl into her bosom of her essence and drink of her acting nectar for eternity, forever and ever. Motherfucking Barbara Kingsley is my new acting goddess. I cannot get enough Barbara Kingsley. And for this reason alone, we will be talking about her later in this episode. And I don't know if it's possible because it's the only thing I've ever seen her in, but I can't wait to see her in everything that she's ever done, ever. And I just want to marry her and live with her the rest of my life. Oh my God. This build of suspense was so amazing. It was so slowly built with such weird and wonderful awkwardness. So long to build the suspense. Very Hansel and Gretel feel through the whole movie. Or should I say Gretel and Hansel feel. Watching Karen draining every ounce and juice from these people's souls was priceless. This film was slow and methodical and brought you to a place you knew you had to go, but watching it and watching it all happen was so fulfilling. This gets a motherfucking Barbara Kingsley, goddess of acting, supercharged Mondo from hell. I loved every single thing about this movie. This is definitely what I would say my movie of the week. No matter what I watch, I'm just speechless.
It was great.
I want to see her with Viola Davis. I think if anyone could take Viola Davis down, it might be
Barbara Kingsley.
Might be Barbara Kingsley. Oh, it was so good. I've never seen a performance I've been so mesmerized by.
Oh, it was fantastic. Just fantastic.
Yeah.
She was a lot of fun.
Oh God, yes. We got to see more Barbara Kingsley everywhere. And she had, you know what? Okay, just so we know here, she hasn't really been in anything.
Yeah.
Other than like maybe TV stuff. Like, okay, so if I'm looking at her, she's been in 25 things. So she made a short in 2020. She's got a TV series where she played one episode. She was in a movie, I guess, in 2018 called Boarding School, which now I have to see. She did one episode. Like, she seems like a bit of a TV actress.
Yeah.
The Path. In one episode in The Path. She played one episode in Jessica Jones, which now I have to go back and find out. She played one in a short called Margot. She played one episode in a Law and Order. One episode in The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel.
Yeah.
Like, she's been in all these TV shows. She was in a movie in 2002, Middle Ground. But you go through, like, you know, she's not a young woman.
No.
But so it's like almost like she started her career in 1994 with a TV movie. And then she kind of just, you know, played in a few things here and there. And then it looks like she kind of a little bit disappeared. And then she's back. Maybe she's making her second career. And I want to see her in everything. So... I'm just in awe of her. Had to do it. I had to tell more about. As people need to know who this woman is. That's all I got to say there.
There you go. All right. So from there, we go back to got to see regular old streaming here. All right. What do we got?
But it's not really regular old streaming
because
because I don't think this is even playing anywhere yet. So people, if you like what you hear from what we have to say, then write it down. If not, then just pass by. Special offering from Red Eye Media of a special screening for Vortex Media Film, and it was called Doors. from 2021. Without warning, millions of mysterious alien doors suddenly appear around the globe. In a rush to determine the reason for their arrival, mankind must work together to understand the purpose of these cosmic anomalies. And it's directed by Jeff Dasom and Salman Kesh. And there's a couple of writers. Actually, there's quite a few screen credits. I have a feeling I like this one a lot more than Bryce, but we'll find out. Doors, the music score and music was also awesome in this. I loved the music. I loved just fully immersing myself in the greatness as it travels all the way through this film with different levels of intensity, sometimes feeling like a hum, sometimes like a wave, but so fluid and yet unnerving at times. The music just added so much to this film for me. The film starts with a direct homage to the Breakfast Club via Doors style. And then this sci-fi adventure takes off in all kinds of different ways. All the time, this film was made with a super low budget, but I didn't really feel that it felt that way. Its creepy sounds and ominousness overwhelms the senses at times and keeps you wanting to understand, to know more about everything where these doors have to offer. Is it evil? Is it friendly? I love the fact that nothing is really fully explained as the film progresses in timeline, with vignettes of characters all along the way, with all the different types of people in different stages of the timeline. The acting at times was not really that great. In fact, at times it was pretty bad. But the story for me, I thought was really well done and kept my interest in being refreshed. Every now and then something else would happen. I'd go like, oh, I didn't mind that. Was pleasantly surprised by the budget that this put forward. Proves that you don't need a ton of money to make a pretty good film. This was a weird and wonderful high math for me, but I couldn't give it a mondo because the acting was pretty weak.
Doors kind of sucked.
Too bad you thought that.
Disjointed sort of anthology with a common story thread. The first segment with the high school kids was bad, and every segment after that was either slightly better or slightly worse than bad. Nice to see Josh Peck continues his string of crap movies. He has not been in a good movie since 2008, although that movie was The Whackness with Ben Kingsley, and it was mondo. In contrast, this film was not mondo. This film was a disjointed mess with a terrible last segment, which makes it a rage.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I actually liked it. I liked it. I like the fact, the one segment in particular, I like the one with the guy who was the hermit that had that the cop came by. I liked it. I found there were surprises in this. I didn't know what to expect from this movie, so for me, I actually fully enjoyed it.
I disagree.
Oh, well, I can see that. So not one of the segments you actually enjoyed anything in them?
Well, let me just go. Let's see what I wrote down here. And every segment after that was either slightly better or slightly worse than bad. I guess I didn't enjoy any of the segments. Because slightly better than bad
was
is
okay,
still slightly better than bad. And the slightly better than bad segment, there was only one of them, and it was the... Jeez, it's all kind of left me now. It was...
I know when they were wearing their spacesuits and they went in and they couldn't find their way out.
That was Josh Peck's segment, and it sucked.
I like that one.
I'm sure you did.
I did.
No, it was bad.
Oh, well, so that's a no for Doors for Bryce. And I liked it.
There you go.
Bryce is being obviously very rageful today, which is perfectly segmented for where we're going next.
Is it?
Temperature rising. Vision blurring. Rage taking over.
I don't know why I wanted to be so angry about this. It didn't really cause me too much rage, but I was trying to do a bit of research on a bunch of people for our lists, and it's funny because we talked earlier in this episode about how there's been some great time loop type movies, and there has been, but there's also been a ton of really bad time travel movies. And I'm kind of sensing from Bryce that maybe Doors might fall into that category, but
wasn't really a time loop movie.
Well, somewhat. There was segments that had time loop in it, but time travel.
Yeah, you're stretching that. That is nothing like the movies that we're talking about. But go ahead.
Well, no, it's not. But I don't want to give too much away for our Rage or Dare episode, which is a complete time travel movie.
Yes.
So this is kind of a little bit like a double whammy because I don't really like time travel movies.
Time travel movies, yes. Time loop movies are good. Time travel movies tend to suck, except for Time Bandits.
Are usually terrible. Yeah, exactly. For Time Bandits,
Time Bandits is the exception, but
yes, of course, absolutely.
Maybe Back to the Future.
Ish. It's funny how
I love Biff.
Well, Biff is good, and so
Make
is
like
Crispin
a tree
Glover.
and get out of here. That's good stuff.
But even what makes it worse, and we're going to be able to talk about this in a little bit from now, but what makes it worse is when you have a time travel movie that is a part 2 or a sequel for another movie, and they're trying to use time travel in a way to somehow justify the movie that we're watching. And these are the movies that I'm most rageful about this week. Is please, number 1, stop making sequels. Just make new content. And the second one is stop making them time travel movies to fit the scope of the first movie, because you shouldn't have made the second movie in the first place. Just fucking stop making them. Stop making time travel movies. And secondly, stop making time travel movies to justify a terrible movie for a movie that was made before it. And that's my rage.
All right. Can't disagree with it. Time travel movies tend to suck. Except for a few, you know.
Yes. Back to the Future 3 was one of those.
Back to the Future 3. It sucked hard. Even 2 wasn't great. But the first one was good.
Crispin Glover wasn't really in 2.
Okay, we've touched on this before, but here we go again. I was looking forward to watching Slaxx this week, as I saw it was going to be streaming on Shudder. But once again, I was played for a fool, as it was only on Shudder in the USA. Here in Canada,
You totally got Wonder Woman blocked with that. Bam!
Here in Canada, we cannot watch it. And what makes it worse is this is a Canadian production. So why can I not watch this Canadian production on Shudder Canada when in the US they can? How does this make any sense? It doesn't. That is my rage.
Yeah, I had that rage too.
It's like, what? It's a Canadian movie and I can't watch it in Canada? Plus, remember, it was released in the theaters in Canada back in, I don't even remember, it must have been November or something. And where was it playing? Just in Ontario. Couldn't see it in Alberta. Why are they trying to keep this movie from me?
Us. You're not the only one that's
it's all about
raging
me.
about. Okay, well, it's your rage, but
My
I'm gonna
rage.
steal it.
Anyways,
I also am rageful about not seeing Slaxx.
This is twice now, man. Twice where I was all stoked.
I would even pay to rent it.
Remember back whenever it was November or whatever, we were so looking for, it's coming out this weekend. It's going to be great. We're going. Then we get the listings and there's no Slaxx. And then this time around, it's coming out. We're finally going to see it. It's on Shudder. Yes, it's going to be great. We're going to be able to watch Slaxx, and then it's not on Canadian Shudder. This is getting to me, man. I am not cool with this.
I am going to reach out to the director and producer of the movie Slaxx, and I'm going to get us a copy of it.
This is ridiculous.
I'm going to reach out to them. I'm going to contact the makers of Slaxx, and I don't mean
Are they trying to just keep it from Alberta? Is that what they're
I mean,
doing?
I think they're specifically keeping it just from the two of us.
It could be.
But okay,
Everybody else has a secret code. They can all watch it, but they haven't told us about it.
If Elza Keffart is listening right now, the director of Slaxx, Film Rage wants to see your movie more, and we'll pay you some money to watch it. So I'm going to track her down this week.
Yes.
Stay tuned for more Slaxx. Stay tuned for more on this rage-filled level of us not seeing the movie Slaxx. And it's spelled not like how you think Slaxx would be spelled. It's spelled SLAXX.
Double X.
Dangerous.
So dangerous. All right, so that is my rage, and apparently you share it.
Mm-hmm.
Rage subsiding. Pulse slowing. Anger fading.
Okay, well, we've got a promo from our buddies at Wine, Dine, and Storytime podcast.
This is
Let's
Wine,
hear
Dine.
it.
This is Wine, Dine, and Storytime. I'm Nydia.
I'm Dana. I'm Cindy, and we're your hosts.
Have you ruined a family gathering by asking what wine pairs well with eating a husband?
Are you the CEO of TMI? Have you ever been kicked under the table because you brought up your favorite dinner topic, atrocities throughout history? Then this podcast is perfect for you.
Each week, Dana and I share stories based on topics that include true crime, historical shenanigans, unexplained mysteries, and all things fascinating, while our amateur chef Cindy prepares themed dinners and pairs wines based on those topics.
Find us, the Wine, Dine, and Storytime podcast, wherever you listen to podcasts, and give us a follow.
There you go.
And they are part of our pod fam, and they are fabulous. So check that out, people. We love those gals. Those guys. Okay, so the Twitter world and Instagram world have been commenting all week on who they want to survive this battle that we've been so waiting for. And there's been tons of promo. And you know what? It's not a unanimous decision. Interestingly enough, when you put forward all these fantastic actors, I tallied up all the numbers of all of our people following us. And definitely, of all the people, maybe they hadn't remembered or hadn't done the work to see Fargo again like we did. But I don't say unanimously, but overwhelmingly more people voted Buscemi is the most mesmerizing.
That is surprising in the context of that movie, because
I know,
I'll
right?
give you a spoiler. I ain't picking Buscemi.
Well, I am also not picking Buscemi.
Oh, Buscemi's head's on the block then, depending on who we did pick.
He's definitely gone if we match up.
Yep.
And
it's on the block. We haven't chopped it off yet, but it's on the block.
Okay, so, the other thing about this is we kind of had some pair-ups that happened within our five-some.
Kind of, yeah.
Because we had Buscemi versus Stormare. So it's kind of obvious that Peter took down Buscemi.
Oh, Peter Stormare totally took down Buscemi. Buscemi, I'm sorry, you were the fifth, in my opinion, you were the fifth least mesmerizing in this film. You were great.
I mean, was great.
It's rough. Being fifth on this list is not too shabby.
Yeah, that's not too shabby. And then we had Francis versus John Carroll Lynch.
Yeah.
And Francis, I think, took him down.
How good was John in a limited role like that though? How good was he? You gotta have a breakfast. I mean, it's so good.
And
he was fantastic.
I love his Margie. Like every time he said Margie, I was like,
oh, it was so good. I want Norm to be my husband. He's fantastic.
Yeah,
I love Norm.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean.
And he got the 3-cent stamp. Like how great is that?
Oh, the 3 cent, and to convince her it was so good.
Yeah.
Like he was fantastic. But McDormand.
And then you've got William H. Macy versus himself. So
yes,
the big question. Okay, so here you go. Did you write it down somewhere?
I wrote it down.
Okay, so people, this is what is happening here, just so you all understand
So
the ramifications of this vote. And just for people to have more clarity, our mesmerizing list is, it's not that we need it to be smaller, but we've gained people in there over time because we feel that them as an actor overall is truly mesmerizing. But to make them mesmerizing, they have to be better than everybody else on the screen. So we've decided that when you have two mesmerizing people in a film, if one is more mesmerizing than the other, and it's blatantly obvious, apparently the other actor is not as mesmerizing, and therefore they don't deserve to be on the mesmerizing list.
or in this case, the other 4 actors. This is
Yes. So if Bryce and I are unanimous in our decision, the other 4
are
will
off.
be removed from the list.
Not necessarily forever. They could
I don't know
challenge
how-
again.
They might have. Well, my opinion is,
They're
if
gone?
they've been taken down, they're gone because they weren't as mesmerizing all the time. That's the thing. They're mesmerizing
You-
all the time.
Perfect. I'm on board with that because
They
you're kind of
just now have
waffling
to
on that
make-
before. But yeah,
Yeah.
I'm on board with
They're
that.
mesmerizing all the time. We
Once
veto
you're
people because
off
we
the
don't feel it.
mesmerizing list, you're gone. You're never
Yeah,
to
the
return.
only way
you can get
back
on Undoubted if you start making lots of good movies. So please do.
Yep.
But,
Yep.
But yeah, okay, good.
Once you're gone. Okay, so when we do, you ready to go? It's written down.
It's
We're
written
gonna
down.
reveal.
All right.
Ready?
Yeah.
Oh, you can't see mine.
I can't see yours.
Damn it.
What does it say? I'll have to take your word for it.
Yeah, well, it's how can I prove this to you? Because it is written,
Yeah.
and it is written William H. Macy.
Is it? All right.
Yes. It's I can't. Oh, damn technology! What? There's a way you can see this. Maybe I gotta take this.
I believe you. The fact that you're working so hard.
It's there.
I'm sure
And
it is.
okay, so you know what? Going into this,
Yeah.
I thought for sure I was going to go Frances McDormand because I freaking love her so much. But after watching Macy through this whole movie, he has such a range in acting.
Everybody's
he's
amazing in this,
just-
but yeah, he's
it's-
great.
I just couldn't. I found even his scenes when he was with her, although. This is killing me. Thank God we voted. We did it. I can't.
They're both
see.
safe. Okay, here's a
I
question
cannot
for you.
see.
The fact that we both
Yes.
picked these two different people, we never really discussed this, but does that mean the other 3 are off because we both?
No,
No, Okay.
because we had to. It had to.
You
be
had to
unanimous.
agree,
All red.
and then everybody.
All
okay.
of them.
Then
Yeah,
okay.
then everybody else is
so
gone
everybody's
because-
safe.
Yeah, because I mean, if Murray was here, maybe he would have picked Stormare, right? Like, who knows?
Honestly, going into this, my memory told me that Stormare was going to be who I picked. And about 20 minutes into it, I'm like, Stormare is fantastic, but I already know he's not who I'm going to be picking. I knew after the first scene that Buscemi wasn't. It's just,
No,
sorry,
it's
Steve,
true,
but you just weren't. But
Yeah.
then it
100%.
became kind of a 4-way dance, and I was amazed at how good John Carroll Lynch was. And it was such a small role, but he just brought me joy every time he was on the screen.
Well, he does that all the time.
He does.
Like
he
he's.
does.
I don't
But,
know if I've ever seen him in like a evil character. I think he has played a couple of evil characters.
He
but-
must have, but I can't think of it off the top of the head. But yeah, he's
But
great.
interesting. So every single person that we
Yes.
had on our list, when I put it out, I probably got about 45 people comment on the post, and a few people it wasn't. Most people said Steve Buscemi, but I think they look at his body of work and think how he's so quirky that he makes him mesmerizing. But it can
gotta
help.
Be, head to head in this film though.
Yeah. If you watch this film, and I dare, let's challenge our audience to go out and rewatch this and get back to us. Tell us what you think. Do you think Do you think we were right? I chose Macy. You chose McDormand.
I got to admit it came down to those two with me, and I was.
It was. Could you imagine if we both? Oh my God!
I mean,
Frances McDormand.
You can't imagine how close it was that I was like, Macy, maybe, and then I'm like, no, you know what?
I kind of hinted that I was
me.
Going McDormand too. I
Yeah.
kind of hinted that last week, so
Yeah.
you kind of knew that you could be blowing it up.
I thought that I was blowing it up, and that was what was almost making me pick Macy, because I was like, I don't want to blow this up, but I was like, no, I got to go with who I felt was the most mesmerizing.
Yep.
And for me, it was still McDormand. But now, this was a crazy film to do it in, because those two characters, I mean, oh my goodness.
Yes. There's a reason why she won an Oscar for that performance, even though we don't really care about Oscars.
Yes.
Okay, so I am going to bring forward, with only one viewing ever seeing her in any movie, I am putting Barbara Kingsley forward on the mesmerizing list.
Well, I literally said that she hijacked the whole movie and that Karen is completely mesmerizing every time she is on the screen in my review. So that's a no-brainer.
Okay, so it's a done deal. Barbara Kingsley is mesmerizing. And I'm going to spend a lot of time the next little while trying to find everything she's done.
Yes. She was fantastic.
And wonder, I'm going to track her down and ask her why she's not in everything.
Yes. Why aren't you in everything?
I know. Why aren't you like...
what is wrong with directors and casting people these days?
Why don't they realize the greatness that is Barbara Kingsley?
Yes.
They just came to us and looked at our lists episode. They'd be able to figure who to cast and who not to cast. It's kind of a no-brainer.
Just go to the Mesmerized list.
That's right. I am going to throw forward, and I don't know if it's fair to put them forward, because I've only seen them in one movie.
Yes.
But in that movie, they were repulsive. And that's Tommy Wiseau from The Room. As the repulsive list.
I don't...
You think he's such a bad actor? He deserves to stay up?
I was so amused by him that he didn't repulse me at all. In fact, I would say that if he made another movie, I'd watch it. So, no.
So that's a no?
That's
all
a
right.
no.
We'd have a lot more people on our repulsive list if Bryce wasn't so repulsive himself. So.
Whatever.
Do you have anybody to bring forward?
I got nothing. I was so focused on our 5 actors in our Mesmerized Off that I no time for anything else. I went through 3 T-shirts as I was sweating bullets trying to come up with one of them and agonizing over it. And finally, I'm like, Frances McDormand, and that was that.
Bingo. Taking a risk.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, indeed. So that is it for the lists, I gather.
Yep. Well, last week on Rage or Dare, both Bryce and I got to choose from Bryce's most favorite thing to touch with his hands. Well, maybe second favorite thing. Yes, that's right, the Dare Bag. With great excitement, Bryce was shocked and amazed to find out there was a second Highlander film. Yes, it appears to be a number 2 in the Highlander franchise. This week, Bryce will get to cup my bag in his hands and squeeze out a generous amount of rage-filled deliciousness. But before that, let's check in with Bryce to see how his first experience with the time-traveling series Highlander went. Was it in the right decision to start the series with number 2? Bryce, please tell us more about your number 2 experience.
So I was just confused. What am I watching? It starts in 1999 on Earth, and then it is 2024, but then it is 500 years ago on the planet Zeist. And then we are in medieval Scotland, I think. So I guess Christopher Lambert's character is an immortal, and he has created some sort of protective dome over the entirety of Earth to protect us from the depleted ozone layer, I think. So this dome seems to be produced by a single laser beam being shot into the sky. I have no idea how that produces a protective dome shield thingy around the planet, but whatever. So from there, we find out that above the dome, the ozone has repaired itself. So now they need to destroy the dome. Sean Connery shows up and he attempts to be funny like over and over again to like no success whatsoever. The makeup to age Lambert is just awful. The special effects are worse. The story is nonsense and based in zero scientific reality. Somehow, I had avoided the Highlander movies for my entire life, and I truly wish that that were still the case, as Highlander II The Quickening was an excruciating rage. Oh, it was just painful. I was just sad watching this movie.
The funniest thing about this is that I would have picked this. Like I had it on my list of ones to add to my dare bag for you.
Yeah.
My rich bag. And then we find out that somebody else gave it to us. So apparently it's
joke's on you.
It joke's on me because I now had to watch it.
Yeah, we both did.
Right from the beginning, you know this is bad.
Oh.
When the lip syncing of the opera singer is terrible.
Yes.
Like, can you not, like, how can you not match up an opera singer to the lip syncing? It was so bad. And then it just got more fake and more terrible with every single thing that was in this movie. It was awful makeup, awful backdrops, awful FX, awful Sean Connery. He's Spanish with a Scottish accent, but there was a shining light that flew in from outer space when Michael Ironside shows up to mesmerize the fuck out of everything. Let me just catch Bryce up, though, because McLeod, or Christopher Lambert's character, was the only survivor of the last movie, Highlander.
Yeah, because they're the only one, right?
They battle with all these immortals till there is only one.
Okay.
And he gained Neo-like powers to do something no one knows or understands what. But apparently it's an ozone builder. So a second movie makes complete sense. And now you know why they made a Highlander 2.
No, I don't.
It makes perfect sense. He's like,
it's nonsensical.
He's like Neo, and he can do special things. So they needed to make this movie.
No.
Thank God for time travel films that don't make sense to the original film or aren't ever needed. Thank God for them.
No.
That I could share this rage with my pal Bryce is joy enough for me. This is literally the second time I've seen this movie. And if I ever have to watch it again, I might have to commit Highlander suicide and leave us with only one Film Rage host left. I might throw myself on my sword.
I need to just destroy the series somehow. Get it so that no one has to ever watch it. It's so bad.
Yeah. How could I get to see this movie very easily, but I couldn't see Crossroads? What's up with that?
I know. I'm working on that, by the way. At some point, I'm getting a copy of Crossroads, and you're watching it. That is happening.
It's happening.
Yes.
It's happening. All right. So you got to pull from my succulent, juicy bag. Cup my bag with both hands there and reach in.
All right. I'm reaching into your bag as we speak. I am pulling something out. I'm looking directly at you so you know that I'm not cheating and picking something weird out. Okay. Here we go. Yeah.
It's a movie that you like? Is it Twilight 2?
I don't think it's a movie I like. I'm trying to think if I even saw this as a kid. I'm thinking no. But I'm kind of looking forward to it. It is The Wiz.
Oh, Jesus, Murphy. Oh, God.
Tell me about The Wiz.
Well, I know when I had reviewed it, because for whatever reason I have it stored in my IMDb, I rated it a 1. So that tells you something. Out of 10.
Yes.
1 being bad, 10 being good.
Oh. I believe it's a musical, correct?
Yes, and they've got a pedophile that dances.
And little Michael Jackson's in it?
He's not that little. He's still pedophile age at that time.
Oh, is he?
I believe. Yeah.
I thought he was.
I think so.
I thought he was a little. How old is he in that?
I don't know. I don't want to remember it. It's yeah. I'm just so glad that you have to see it, not I.
So The Wiz. Yeah, it's probably all right.
Yep.
Got music. Probably got some dancing.
Mm-hmm.
Probably flashy colors and stuff going on, and
there is some good actors in it. Lena Horne's in it. Richard Pryor's in it.
Yeah.
Teresa Merritt's in it, who's, she's Mrs. Evans, my mom from another family.
Wow.
Yeah. So you got lots to look forward to.
I'm looking forward to it. The Wiz. I'm not dreading this. I think it might be all right.
You should be. You should be.
I don't think I've seen it. I'm almost positive. I know of it. I don't think I've seen it.
Oh, yeah, you know of it. Well, good luck with that. That's all I can say.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome. Well, thanks, Ragers, for listening. Thanks, Extended Film Rage crew of Leonard Collin for his artistic vision of photography, Leonard Collin Photography, and Bex Goose for her animation skills at Potato Lady Podcast Reviews.com. Find us on social media at Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Film Rage YYC. Check out everything Film Rage at filmrageyyc.com. See what we look like on our YouTube channel by searching Film Rage Podcast on YouTube. We're always wanting to make this a raging blast for our listeners, so please comment often everywhere you feel, including Film Rage Calgary at gmail.com, Podchaser, Apple Podcast, dares to see terrible movies to fuel our rage. But no matter what you do, please make us rage. Please, please. That's all we're asking. That's it for this week. Rage on.
Rage on.